Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy Homebrew Wednesday. So I figured I would pour up one of the recent beers that I brewed up. As you would know, about a month ago now, I brewed up something along the lines of a dark ale / porter, or maybe even a stout. And I used the Mangrove Jack brown ale kit with some extra dark malt extract and some blackstrap molasses and a little bit of dextrose and yeah. Anyways, the video was posted about a month ago, I think, or something like that. Anyhow, I thought I was going to do it last Wednesday, and I didn't forget, but I said no, I didn't feel like it. That's what it was. I didn't feel like it. So I figured I'll do it this Wednesday since I'm awake. Anyways, so here it is. I just took it out of the fridge. This has been in the bottle now 2.5 weeks, and it still doesn't seem to want to clear for some reason. I don't know. Maybe there's just too much malt into it. So I better go and crack this before she starts warming up, or the top's gonna go off into the ceiling somewhere. So let's get this poured up. Woo! She's got a lot of pressure, carbonation, and she's starting to foam just a little bit. I got all this stuff down here. It's all been sitting in the warmth. I might have to put it all in the fridge. I haven't had any bottle bombs yet, but might be a good idea to put them in the fridge because I think they're probably going to be poofing at the top. See, I'm not going to get all this in here because there's a little too much. There's definitely too much malt in this beer, and it's going to foam up like crazy. Yeah, it's going to foam like nuts. Try to pour it as slowly as I can. I use the Creamex. This is the one I used the package of Creamex in, and why I used it in a highly malted beer, I have no idea. It didn't need it. Normal, certainly the normal dextrose would have 150 or 170 grams would have been fine to carbonate the beer. Trying to get as much in as I can without leaving too much. Well, yeah, you gotta slow that up. Can you imagine if I took a big tall glass and I poured this very aggressively? Boy, would that ever come up. Oh, okay. Alright. It's good enough. I'll still drink the rest. Just put it back in there. We'll close the top and it'll build up its pressure again. Look at that. I forgot to bring a flashlight, so we're not putting a flashlight through the beer, obviously. Darn it. So it looks good. I mean, it's got a massive amount of head. It's got lots of chill haze. It's not quite clear. I mean, it's still, regardless, it's still, as long as it's sat in the bottle, it's still pretty cloudy and pretty hazy. It just didn't want to clear. I guess I put too much malt into it. I probably could have went with, thinking back, probably if I did not use that extra 1.3 kilogram container of the dark malt extract, maybe if I'd left that out, then it would have been a better beer, or it would have been clearer anyways, and not so heavy. This is actually more of a stout. This kind of turned out more of a stout than a dark ale or a porter. So it's got wonderful head retention though. It hangs for a while. It's a nice looking beer for sure. But on the other side of things, I probably, I usually when I put the beer, like I got away from brewing in the bucket because I found, I just didn't really want to snap the lid down all the time. Maybe I could just put the lid on top. A lot of people, I know some people do that. Just put something on top that's kind of heavy and just keeps the air out for a couple of days and then transfer it over to this, which is what I could do. I usually don't do a secondary. I usually just throw it in a fermenter and leave it for about 10 days or thereabouts. I'm not real technical on taking all these gravity readings to find out when the beer is done because I'm not in competition, so why bother, right? I would do that if I was in a competition for sure, but other than that, I just, once the bubbling slows to like a bubble every 6, 7, 8 minutes, it's pretty much done. As far as I'm concerned, it's done enough. So I mean, this is done. Obviously, it's more than done. So, but yeah, if I was to do this kit again, probably back off on so much malt. Oh, plus I used the grains too. If you watch the video, I used some smoked grains and some chocolate grains and some 120 crystal grains, dark 120 dark crystal. I use those, and so I mean it's just malted right to hell. So, but if I was to do it again, yeah, I would not use that extra container of the dark malt extract, and I think I would probably do a secondary. Probably stick it in the bucket for a couple of days and then throw it in here for about 8 to 10 days, whatever. Just to let it clear a little bit more. Or else just leave it in the carboy a lot longer, because it was only sat in the carboy for 10 days, and it's been in the bottle 2.5 weeks. So I mean, you know, you're looking at pretty much a month, I guess, since I pitched the yeast. Oh well, let's give it a taste. Let's give it a sniff. Nice tan head. I noticed that there's a little sweetness coming out in the aroma. That's pretty nice. It's a mild sweetness, but it's there, and I don't mind that. A mild sweetness, and even though I only used a half an ounce of hops in this one, there's still a little tiny bit of a hop aroma to it from those those New Zealand hops that Optimon sent me. I still have some in the freezer. I got to use them up. I've had them for over a year now. I got to get them done. Get them used up. Definitely can smell a lot of malt. You can pick up tell that there's just heavy malt in this sucker. Look at the head retention on that. Okay, well let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers! Cheers! It's got a pretty heavy mouthfeel. Yum, 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 yum. Pasty, creamy, whatever you want to say, mouthfeel. It's heavier than it needed to be. It really is heavier than it needed to be. But I guess it's more of a stout, I guess, than a porter. Because it's heavy. It's a monster. It's tough to sit down and drink 4 or 5 or 6 of them. Because it fills you up like a steak dinner. And it's carbonated, like I said. The head is still there. That's cool. I don't know. Some people say head is overrated. But it's kind of cool, you know. You also, you know, you get kind of a down feeling when you pour up a beer, and then 35 seconds later, the head you just got a tiny little cap, and that's it, you know. So I mean, I don't know. It's kind of cool to have it's just cosmetic, but I mean, it's pretty much. But it's kind of neat to have a same deal as waxing a car, I guess. You like to look at the shine. Well, there's definitely some bitterness in this beer from the hops, and there's definitely some sweetness. There's a little bit of sweetness in there. Can definitely pick up some of the chocolate from the chocolate grains. As far as smoke is concerned, yeah, there is a hint of smoke in the aroma. Now that I brought the smoke back to my brain, there's a hint, but it's still very mild. 200 grams of the smoked grains. Not quite enough. I think if I do it again, I'll have to push the grains up, the smoked grains up a little bit more. Probably 300, maybe even 400 grams. Well, I mean, it is good. It turned out good. It's very malty. It's a very nice beer. Thankfully, it turned out pretty decent. I don't mind it at all. And as far as picking up the blackstrap molasses, very, very faint, like almost non-existent. I used 150 mils in the blackstrap molasses, so I would even think that it wouldn't even hurt to put it up to 200 mils. Still wouldn't even be strong. So yeah, well, there's that whatever the hell I brewed up last time. That's what it is. This is how she turned out, and it's not bad. It's I've got another 24 bottles here, and I've got 15 over there. No, not 15, 12 over there. So I might want to put them in the fridge just to keep them from, you know, bottle bombing on me in the next week or two, because they're probably still going to build a little bit of pressure. But, ooh, it's nice. It's very nice. It's not a bad beer. Just not something that I'm going to have to brew again real quick. I think I'm going to brew again this weekend. So I have something else here to choose from. So, you know, on the weekend, I'm going to have a couple of each. And I don't have to try and sit down and drink, you know, 5 or 6 of these, because it's not easy to drink 5 or 6 of them. I'll tell you right now. Anyways, I'm sure I had some other things to talk about during this video, and I didn't really care whether it went past 10 minutes or not, but what the hell. You got any thoughts? One more thing, I guess, before I go. I think maybe if I brew this again, like I said, I'll step it back on the dark malt. I'll probably step back. I'll cut that dark malt extract out completely. Just use the kit, the brown ale kit or a Cooper's Dark Ale kit, and I'll up the smoke a little bit more to 300, maybe 400 grams. Leave the chocolate and the caramel the same, and up the molasses just a little bit. And I was thinking, if I do it in here if I throw it in here for 3 or 4 days, get the strong fermentation out of the way, and then transfer it over here. Thinking about what I'm doing is maybe throwing in a basket of cherries, fresh cherries. Maybe poke some holes through it. I don't know. What do you think about poking holes through it? Maybe to get the flavor out. I don't know. Will the flavor come out through the skin if you just throw the cherries right in there? Let it sit in the secondary for 8 to 10 days with the cherries in it. I don't know how that would work out. Thinking about doing it. What do you think? Anyways, I've got to go. Cheers, everybody. Keep your mugs full. Oops, that's not for this video, is it? Oh, what the hell? Who cares? Nobody cares. Happy Homebrew Wednesday again, and I'll see you soon. Still got a nice head on that baby. She's holding. All right. See you later. Thanks for watching. And I'm not editing this one, so I'm just going to shut